confident licking an ice cream? Well, if you are, then you're in good company. Today we'll be taking a closer look at the nuances of everyday interactions that make up the monotony of life. Let's look at a street sign and think, God, I'd love to take that down one night and put it on my wall. Grab your knitting needles and a blanket because it's time for three old friends to sit around and sew a new patch into their quilt of friendship. So join me, Dion, under the covers with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork. Now, the other day, I went to the Great Australian Beer Show. It was Gabs, and I forgot the last word.
They went with Great
Gabs.
Australian Beer
Show, I think. Spectacular. It's at Gabs. Anyway, we went to Gabs.
because they couldn't say Gab.
Yeah, because it doesn't work so well. And got some tickets. Dion was coming along, meeting up with another friend. It was at Jeff's Shed in Melbourne. And
Far out.
I'm just letting people know.
Yeah, no. But
Very
Jeff,
Melbourne.
like,
Shit.
seriously?
Yeah. The Melbourne Exhibition
Less about
Centre.
it being Jeff Kennett, more about it being...
Is it Jeff Kennett?
Who did you think it was?
I thought it was...
That's not obvious.
No, I didn't know.
What?
Wait,
That's literally the
wait,
reason
did
it's called
he?
that.
So Jeff Kennett, former
No,
Victorian
it used to be
Premier.
his shed for his tools.
You know, like
And
a
he
men's-
sold it to the state of
my
Victoria.
God.
What did you think Jeff meant?
What do I think it meant?
Yeah, why did you think people called it
I just
Jeff
thought it was
Shed?
a cute name, a cute little Melbourne name.
Yeah.
Down a little alley.
Yeah.
What? There are other Jeffs.
Who? Oh, from the Wiggles.
Absolutely. I thought it was him.
Great visual gag.
Thank you.
Anyway, so I was going to Gabs. Dion was coming along. And so I got there, got a message from Dion, and you'll love this, Christian.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was at the other exhibition buildings. So he went to the Royal Exhibition buildings.
Yeah.
So he was running a bit late. Didn't matter because it was a massive queue to get in.
Did you believe that?
I did.
You
100. What do you mean? Do I believe
big
Dion went
question.
to the wrong venue and didn't
great
pay close
question.
attention?
Hang on a second. It's a very well executed lie. If it was a lie.
No
if
way.
It was one.
No way.
Quite skeptical of friends lying.
Yeah, I am.
Interesting. Josh, go on.
They're called trust issues, Dion.
Anyway, the big takeaway was I loved Dion's communication about when he was going to arrive, how late he was going to be, everything around that.
Okay.
And the key to it was he didn't really make the assumptions on how long something's going to take. He sent me updates of where he was. So he was in an Uber on the way, sends me a photo of Crown Casino. I know exactly where he is in his Uber at that moment. He sends me another update being like a couple minutes away at gate 1.
This sounds too good to be true. Something's going to happen.
No, it was awesome. And I was
Oh.
like, I knew, okay, he's there at Crown. That'll take this long. Oh, he's at door 1. Great. He's on site. You know what I mean?
You can position him in time and space.
It's so much better than you going, I'm 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've got no idea what that means.
Now,
Yes.
what do you think was motivating that good communication?
Me being angry at you.
I was shitting myself.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because
Oh, I'm sorry, Dion.
no, that's okay, babe. Because I should have.
You've only created this culture over years and years of oppression.
Because I should have known it was. So what did I go to? The Royal Exhibition buildings, and it was
Yeah.
the convention centre.
Yeah, yeah.
If you've ever gotten those two mixed up and you're in Melbourne, call us. Phone in. but it used to be at the Royal Exhibition.
I think it had
building.
been in the past.
Yeah.
So it was a
Yeah,
reasonable mistake.
That
Reasonable
absolutely
mistake.
would have got me too. I would have gone straight to the one in Carlton.
Yeah, but like I was absolutely shitting myself because rightly so. Like you should have high expectations. And we had limited time there as well. We only had
Yeah,
like an
we
hour
were-
and a half.
yeah.
But yeah, the photo was an interesting one because there's a lot of traffic, and I was like, I could look at Google Maps, but I was like, this is a reference point that Josh will get. This Crown Casino reference point.
Yeah.
Take that photo. He'll know exactly where I am. He'll be able to calculate it. Probably calculated 8 or 9 minutes. It was great. Bingo, bango.
Wow. Click, click. Jeff Shed.
And then that funny moment happened was we got to the front of the queue because it was a massive queue with delayed entry and they start letting people in.
Oh yeah.
And then so we got to the front and you're like, all that work you did, you're like, we'll just wait for them. They'll be here in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And I always have in my mind that once you're in and it starts, you won't remember any of this.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
fact that
That's
I
interesting.
stood around for 3 minutes at the front of the queue being like, oh, it's so annoying all these people are going past us. Like, it didn't matter. We got in and had a great time.
But it was great that you. What do you think? Do you think you should be able to stay in that queue at the front of the queue while I'm waiting?
It feels weird.
Yeah, you should get a ticket. You should get a ticket.
Me joining you at that point in the queue, that's the weird bit.
But that's what I mean. But
Yeah.
that's what should happen though, right? And it's not because you chose, it's because you were running late. I'm like, oh, my
Yeah.
mate would have been here with us.
because it doesn't take away from anyone else, I don't think. Or it does make the line a little bit longer.
It's kind of weird though that there's this presumption that, well, because you waited, your friend now can cut the line.
Yeah.
Someone has waited.
I don't mind that world. I don't mind living in that world.
Yeah, I'm fine with that as well.
a good world.
So,
Yeah.
because there's inherently, I don't think you get annoyed at someone who cuts in to join a friend, do you?
No,
No,
but do
no.
I need to? Should I have acknowledged it?
No, I don't think you need to because you've done the penance of being in the line.
Yes.
They just want to know that someone has suffered with them.
Here's the question. Is there a difference when I'm at the front of the queue and the queue's moving in past me versus the queue is static and I'm just standing there and then someone joins you in the static queue?
What you're implying that it's likely to delay that person more?
Potentially, yeah.
No, if the queue's moving, I think then it's more accepted because it's like, well, we're all getting in.
No, that's
what I
right.
meant.
It's more
Yeah.
accepted.
So if it's static, is that more of an issue? Because one
think
person
so.
took the time to get there early.
well, it might be more of an issue. That comes in the question then. Yeah, do you need to acknowledge the person behind you, the person behind that? Do you reckon?
I think I want to live in a world, and I like to think in those situations, I live in a world where I'm like, I'm going to, like, if this happened to me, I'd want them to be fine with it, so I'm
Yes.
going to be fine with it too.
Yes, totally.
that's
that
a
should-
really nice way to frame it. That's a really nice way to
Yeah,
frame it.
but someone has paid the penance.
Yeah, I think that's the key.
That is the key. That's really nice. I like the constant updates. Do you expect that from friends if they're...
No one can be as great as me.
Well, the photo is really
no one
good.
can pick up the right venue and go to the correct venue on time.
Hang on, but did you not think to just share your location? Wouldn't that have allowed Josh
No.
to control how often he was...
No, I think in that situation, because I fucked up, it needs to be a more active.
Oh, that's
It
interesting.
needs to be more active.
Interesting.
Because the
So
sharing
I'm
location is a
aware.
little bit passive. It's like it relies on you sort of checking it and then working out where I am. Whereas, no, I think it needs to be a little bit more active. It's very
It shows he cares. It
Yeah,
definitely
it does.
shows he
ultimately,
cares.
ultimately, it's very considerate, right?
It showed how terrified he was of me and my wrath.
Exactly.
But so it's coming from a place of guilt, right? Like, I want to make sure that he knows that I am on my way.
Yes.
Here's a photo of me doing a selfie at the wrong location. I swear,
no.
I swear.
That's a tear, I swear.
But it is interesting how, like, in our society and with different friends, there's no standardization of that. There's no accepted thing. Like,
If you're late, the type of comms you should send.
Like, we've used this example before. When you go to Japan, every time you enter a store, you're greeted in the same way. There's that. It's accepted across the society.
Yeah.
Would you like to roll out a code for this kind of thing?
I think 100% the code should be tell the person where you are, not how far away, not how long you'll be. Because my brother is far too optimistic.
Yeah, okay.
He's always overly optimistic. I was like, that's going to be wrong.
Yeah, you shouldn't be in charge of projecting your estimated arrival
No.
time.
Wait,
Yeah.
so even even if you're aligned with the Google Maps estimate, that's not. That's,
I have no faith that that's what he's sending through when he sends that time. And what I will say, I'll say, according to Google, I should be there.
Would you have liked that if I said that? According to Google.
I like what you did. Keep sending me photographic evidence of where you are.
Interesting. I guess that
Throughout the day.
That'd only work in your hometown as well if you know that there's a mutual understanding of
Yes,
the buildings.
No. I agree.
Yeah. That's why he said.
I recently had another really good example of effective communication. And Dion, it was at your 40th drinks.
Yep.
And I went to the bar and I wanted to order a spicy margarita. And the bartender said, out of 10, how spicy would you like this cocktail?
Great.
And I thought that
Great.
was perfect.
Great.
Because it allowed me to say 6.
Oh, I was going to say 6.
Yeah.
6?
6 because it's just a little bit spicy. I don't want this to be a cocktail that I suffer through.
Was it a 6?
It was a 6, but a shit cocktail. so he got the spiciness spot on. He should have asked me, how do you want to enjoy this cocktail?
On a quality ranking of 1 to 10, how nice do you want this to be?
Wouldn't that be-
6.
Yeah, 6 as well.
Imagine that. An honest menu. An honest menu where you read down the menu. You don't have to ask the waiter, hey, what's this like? Like reviews for dishes.
On the menu.
On the menu that are aggregated, that are constantly updated. It's
Hang
an
on.
e-ink thing.
Wait. So would they remove the lowest? Because surely you're not going to have, the spicy margarita 4 out of 10.
They drop off one a month.
No,
The
I
bottom
think-
one gets dropped.
I think what you just need like an honest restaurateur to be like, we cheaped out on this one a little bit.
Yep.
It's okay, but it's priced appropriately.
Dion,
Yeah, wow.
Dion, can I just pick you up on how bad that idea is? So my idea,
Yeah.
Dion speaking. They couldn't. How would that work with stock? It wouldn't work at all. The
What do you mean?
salmon's at the top of the list. Everyone's ordering the salmon. They run out of salmon.
What do you mean?
Everyone's
ordering the
order
salmon?
the trout.
No, it's about reviews.
No,
Dion?
I'm saying reviews on the menu. If you get everyone ordering the highest rated review, they're going to
Yeah.
run out of stock.
No, but then you order more based on the reviews.
Not
and
on
then
the
you become
night.
a salmon
You can't-
restaurant.
I'll say this, Dion. As a fun little thought experiment, it's good fun. Don't actually imagine it occurring.
Okay.
That ruins it for everyone.
No. What about on a? It's very hard choosing cocktails, isn't it? I don't know how
Yeah.
you choose a cocktail.
I base it on a couple of flavors that I might like.
That's all you can do, right? And
Okay.
then you get a cocktail. Is there anything more surprising than the taste of a cocktail?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. There is.
And it's the glass.
Just to be clear, what happened then? Josh, you said glass.
I said colour.
You said colour, and you said glass.
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
You never know, and you never know. I
Also,
do
what's
not
on
know,
top?
I
Also,
do-
what's on top?
Totally. There's no rhyme or reason, at least in my eyes, to the glass type. Absolutely.
It is a fun surprise.
But it's like a cocktail can sometimes be 120 mils or it's 400 mils, and you've got no idea.
Yeah, you always feel like they've cheaped you out when it's a
Totally.
little bit. You're like, yeah, but it's still the price
You know
of
what?
a cocktail.
It's the glass. How do I describe? Just the little glass.
the
that's got-
martini
The
glass.
martini glass. If a
Oh,
cocktail goes in
yeah.
a martini glass, you're like, what the fuck is this? $27.
Yes.
I want those big Hawaiian tumblers. What are they called? The tiki.
Oh,
Tiki mugs.
Kentucky tour glasses.
And you're like, at least trick me with a giant block of ice. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that recently. Someone saying I paid $30 for this cocktail. They took out the ice cube and there was just a droplet of tequila.
But I think there's, oh God, I wish we had someone who knew. There is a rationale for doing that. Oh God, I killed the podcast.
No. What would be the rationale?
They've
Obvious
given you-
display and
Why do you
no,
trust
'cause
them? You trust professionals
They're
like
not trying to
that?
skip
Yeah,
out on
yeah.
the amount of. You're still getting what you paid for. You're getting the amount of alcohol
Exactly, that's-
and all
that's
the
the
flavors
thing.
and everything.
So it's to keep it
Yeah.
cool and wet.
But otherwise, it's like that's not the point of a cocktail. It's like a
Cocktail.
like a pint of liquid.
Yeah.
That's not the point of a cocktail.
Yes, yeah,
No, but
exactly.
but-
exactly.
so-
It's to
so-
get you fucking drunk.
But value, yeah, you're right. Value for money in a cocktail should never be a consideration.
It shouldn't be volume. It shouldn't be about volume. It should be about taste.
It should be minimum
Yeah.
volume. What's
No, there's no. I don't think a volume.
are you
should
happy
be-
with 30 mil cocktail?
that's
in terms of
that's a single
alcohol?
shot.
No,
Surely not.
no. You want at
Shouldn't
least
start
2
volume.
shots, I reckon.
2 shots at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not in a martini glass.
So what are you looking for? You said before you're looking for a particular set of flavors. What are you looking
Often,
for?
I love a bit of passion fruit. If I see passion fruit in one, that's on the
Wow.
list.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's on the list. That's
It's a
always
great.
on
It's
the
just a
list.
great fruit. And you know
Yeah.
what? It's passionate about it. It's not like,
Something bit of coconut, a little bit of coconut
Oh
in there.
yeah, top
That's
of my
fun, that's
list.
fun.
Absolutely
Like
top.
What are your flavors? No. Just like things I look out for in the
oh
menu.
yeah. I go for the liquor first. So I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
what am
good.
I in the
The
mood
base,
for?
the base.
I'm very rarely in the mood for like vodka in a cocktail. Vodka don't have that association.
Okay.
Like a little whiskey or bourbon or
Yeah.
maybe tequila. I think it's
Oh,
called.
tequila. I love a tequila.
Tequila Mockingbird.
Yeah, I love tequila. I love bourbon in there. And I think coconut or apple. But
Apple.
something I've really leaned into more as I've gotten older is don't drink. I think everyone knows this now, but it's like don't drink
too much.
don't drink beer just because everyone's drinking beer. What do you want to drink? And I found what I want to drink is sweet, fruity drinks.
Yeah.
So
But not too sweet. Nothing like a too sweet cocktail, is there?
I love sweet, fruity drinks
Fuck.
or sweet something that's not fruity. You know, I don't know, with maple syrup.
What is sweet? Oh my god, I had to think for a second. Hang on. If
What's
it's
the-
not fruit, how could it be sweet?
Yeah, I think I'm growing into sweeter drinks.
Can I just ask, with this 1 to 10 spice rating,
Mm.
no one's going below 6, right? Because if you're ordering,
No.
by definition,
Yes.
a spicy
Spicy marg,
margarita,
yeah.
you want some spice.
Oh, then again.
Oh no, but presumably a 1 is there is a bit of spice.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't pick the spicy margarita if I
But
didn't
I
like
think
spice.
no, but I think you're thinking that 5 is
No, 5 is
Need spice.
just a little bit of spice.
5
and then-
is tang. I had tang last night. I had my first corn jack last night. Put a bit of tomato sauce on it. It was the tangiest thing. I don't eat tomato sauce either, but I think after last night, I might branch out into tomato sauce because it just gives a little bit of tang. No spice, bit of tang.
Little tang. Little
Wow.
tang. I think under 5, I still think it's like light. Like I think
Yeah.
there's light spice in there. But what would be fascinating is to ask the bartender, what do people say the most?
It's got
What
to
do
be
you think?
6, right?
What do you reckon it is, Dion?
What? Oh, like
when they ask that
no,
question.
if they're asking for a spicy it's not like you go to an Indian restaurant and you say, "Oh, is your food spicy? I
Medium.
want it a bit spicy."
It's medium.
It's
Always
medium.
medium.
So it's a 5, not a 6.
Do you reckon anyone goes the 10? Are there some wild people who go the 10?
I think so, but then they regret it. The point is that they're trying to show off in front of their friends.
Yeah.
Did you ask for a spicy margarita or a spicy marg?
No, spicy margarita. I would never say spicy marg.
Why wouldn't you say spicy marg?
Because that's not clear to the person making the drink. They
Yes,
don't
it
know.
is.
No,
they're a
no.
bartender, they're professional.
No, I'm going to read the exact thing that's on the menu, so it's clear
good.
to them.
Do you trust bartenders on the whole? And what are the things about them that you would try? If they're flipping like
Yeah.
fucking glasses and shit.
Yes, I trust them.
You trust bartenders. That's a
How
very
do you not trust them?
'cause sometimes they make bad drinks.
That to me is the drink. I ordered a bad drink. I don't think they made the drink badly.
That's a very weird take, Josh.
I don't think they made the drink badly.
They absolutely would have made the drink badly.
I
Poorly.
don't think I can talk to what a bad drink tastes like then.
You go to the dentist. You don't go to a professional dentist, do you?
What do you mean?
Don't you go to student dentist?
Yes, I go to student.
Do you
dentist.
trust the student dentist?
100%.
With one spicy clean, please. I tried. I think it's the main thing.
Because I went last week. I try to go every year, and I go to the Melbourne Uni dental school, and they're all like final year students, and they get checked anyway. So
Wait,
it's
just for clarification, this is for when you go for
Dentistry.
a clean and
Checkup. Yes.
you go to the Melbourne School of Dentistry.
No,
I don't know
it's
if
not the
that's-
Melbourne.
Anyway,
That doesn't
hang
sound
on.
like students.
It's just
no,
Melbourne Uni students,
Yeah.
final year dentists.
They're just at their desks.
Final year. And how long's the degree?
I've got no idea. Didn't ask.
Okay, so what if it's like a 1 year degree?
1 year degree. They're both first and last year dentists.
I'd be curious.
What year are you in? My penultimate year.
I'd be a little curious.
So I went for my annual checkup.
It's just in a lecture theatre or something, is it?
Yeah. I just lie on the front. They're taking notes. Like, okay, watch this.
10. Okay.
But what was really interesting is I think there was like 2 students. One was on the computer. One was doing the work in my mouth. And then there was another observer who was maybe a bit more junior. The chatter about the stuff I kind of found fascinating where they're like, H6 is this on the and this and H7 and all these numbers and stuff. Like they've mapped this out in a way that is fascinating. But there are a couple of moments that the student nature of their experience showed itself. And it was one of those things of like, oh yeah, this doesn't normally happen. And it was just really subtle things, but it was really interesting. So when they were sort of doing clean inside and one of them had the vac just started to just press back down my throat, just getting in the back of the throat a bit too much. And I'm like, and I literally was like, and I was like, just pressing a bit on the back of the throat.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was so interesting because I was like, I've never had that as a problem.
Yes.
And then the other thing was the vacuum wasn't that great. Like
Yeah,
a lot
a lot
of
of
water
drool.
going out of my mouth with
Well,
the
probably,
water pick.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, do they use equipment like they're not using the Dyson of the vacuum cleaner world? They're using an Ozito.
But it was really, it's like those things. I was like, I've never really appreciated, like really, like that.
Yeah,
I just had that as an
there's
understanding of that's how it
There's
works.
a skill involved with every little bit of the dentistry,
Yes,
right?
and
the
it's like
vacuuming,
you didn't really know that your hand was pushing further and further and back and hitting the back of my throat.
But now I realize how important it is to have someone who can, I guess, be gentle about the feedback. Just be like, hey guys, just letting you know I'm about to vomit. Like you're making
You've nearly sucked up my
you're
tonsils.
making me gag here.
It was quite funny, but because I knew that, I didn't want to be like, oh my God, ridiculous. It's like I've chosen fully aware to go into this situation.
Okay, so what has made you say, I prefer that this is cost effective rather than a good quality job on the thing that I have in my mouth forever?
Still,
and I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No,
you are
no.
questioning it. Inherent in that question.
Yeah, it would seem that way. I am.
well, given my teeth are going to be in my mouth forever, as you
Yes,
put it,
yeah.
They could be.
They could be.
They could be in your mouth.
So the key thing for me is it's cheaper. That's an important cost. Is
sure.
important to me. But a supervisor, senior person comes through and checks anyway. So they come have a look and they go, I did this. And they're like, yep, you
After
see that?
the fact?
Yeah, so they do the check and then they sort of
They
check
help
in
clean
about
the
it.
vomit up. I think you've gone a little too deep there.
Have
What's
they
all this bleeding? What do you mean? Shut up.
have they ever picked up on a mistake or poor workmanship?
I think maybe once they were like, did you see that or something? And he was like, oh, yeah, cool. Like, I maybe missed something. But it's not like drastic things they're missing. And my teeth are in pretty good health. I think the difference is, or the other...
Well, at least you think you are. At least you think they are.
Yeah.
The other boon about this, got a $50 discount because it was Easter. That was great.
Wait, how much
Great.
is
They had like an Easter special. I was like, awesome.
how much is a visit?
I think it's normally about 160,
Yeah, that's
something like that.
that's a lot of money. I paid $220 for someone who's been in the game for 30 years. And I get it all
that's
back
fine.
on Booper. And thank you, Booper.
No, but that's fine.
This segment is sponsored by Booper.
But that to me, that's a decent saving, $60-$70.
To get kids
Well, what are you
running
doing?
around
What
your
are you
teeth.
doing? What are you
Well,
doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
What are you getting done? I'm getting a clean.
Clean and scale?
Yeah.
Rinse?
Scale.
Rinse?
check.
Oh, no, that's fishing. I think it's clean
And then they gut him.
No, I think that's surprisingly not cheap at all.
What?
I thought it'd be $50.
Dion, they're like last year. They're not like They'll be doing it by themselves next year.
What do you mean? But they've got a bunch of school children around them as well. They're distracted.
School children.
I don't-
Make
yeah,
it out like it's high school
Yeah,
VCE
hang on.
students.
Do you know that you can get massages?
The bell goes, they have to go out for recess.
Do you know you can get massages in Melbourne from a student clinic, the Max Therapy Student Clinic? A massage in Melbourne typically costs $100, right? What would you like to pay for a massage?
$50.
It's $32.
That's
For an
really
hour?
It
cheap.
should be a third of the price.
For an hour?
It shouldn't be 3/4 of the
I
price.
think what I'm getting is still very good quality service, apart from the things I mentioned. But the actual like dental outcomes, I'm completely fine with. And if anything, they're more attuned with doing it right because
More
they don't
diligent.
want, because they were like, oh, I did notice this tiny bit there, and she was like, yeah, whatever.
Interesting point. What do you think of that, Christian?
I wasn't listening.
Okay.
I think they're more, I'm just saying, I think they're more diligent because they're students, so they take a little bit more care to get it right.
So accepting.
And Josh was just like, all right, I'll play it one more time. And I didn't listen to
again.
the second.
But it was
Go.
It was an interesting thing, and I was thinking about it. I was like, I think I'm happy for the checkup. If there anything, and I actually needed work done on anything, I don't think I'd use the students.
Oh, so you've never.
And I
so
think
they've
that's-
so you're saying they've never found a cavity. Interesting.
But I think that's my separation point. That
Yes.
Okay.
the regular checkup, I'm like, I don't need to spend a bunch on this.
Yep,
but
yep.
if I had to have work done, I'm like, probably for something that's gonna be in my mouth the rest of my life.
I guess also there needs to be trust in the fact they offer that service. So
Yeah,
the
and it's linked to the
senior-
Uni of Melbourne or whatever
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, the senior dentists have said, you know, we believe that these people are of a level that they can work in your mouth.
Yes, but they do have to have recess.
Whereas, yeah, go.
Would you?
They have the little teeth lollies.
And they're wearing like a flap hat where they're doing the surgery.
fun teeth.
Would you get a student to cut your hair?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Because Josh, you've only got that for a month, whereas your teeth you've got for a whole year. But it'd be very
life,
interesting if
a
you
whole
kept-
life.
whole life. But
I don't think I would, because that's much more visible, and I'm very happy with my hairdresser. Let's put that aside. I don't think I would.
have we ever put anything aside in this podcast?
Well, we have, but we never have come back to it. The piles we
we'll
have
come
next
back
to
to
us
that.
are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would because it's such a visible thing. And if they stuffed it up, I'd be like, that sucks. Whereas them stuffing up, checking my teeth, I don't think there's. You know what the difference would be?
This is strange.
If the
It is
trainee,
strange,
if
yeah.
the trainee hairdresser, the senior person came over and went, I'll fix it up. That's what you need.
Oh yeah.
But see, yeah, I guess.
Because that's what I'm getting at the dentist.
This is kind of like the dentist. I imagine is quite like the tailor for me. I have a really high expectations of tailoring services because it's something that you can't undo.
Yes.
Right. So I have
kind of like teeth.
Yeah, same with teeth.
Yeah.
With a hairdresser, I'm like, it comes back in a month.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
a tailor, you bring your pants there and you're like, okay, that's it. I can't grow
that's
these.
it.
I can't grow these pants longer.
Do you reckon a tailor would be better at giving a haircut than the layman just because they work with scissors?
No.
Surely not, right? Surely not. I'm just trying to think transferable.
Yes,
Would
yes,
a dentist,
yes, I do.
Would
No, wait.
Yeah,
Let me
good.
explain. Let me
Good.
explain. He said better
Okay.
than the layman.
That's right.
I'm shithoused with scissors.
Lefty
They-
boy. Lefty
Sorry,
though.
Lefty.
how hard is it to use scissors? What are you
Really
talking
hard
about?
when you're a left-hander.
What are you cutting?
Wait, what?
Left-handed things.
A bit of paper?
Oh, we need a leftatorium. What's it called?
Oh,
Left-handed?
yeah.
yeah.
God, I miss Ned.
But I agree with you. The tailor has experience with scissors. They do those big, like, through the whole thing.
Would you trust a dentist more and that transitions to becoming a mechanic?
I don't care about people's previous professions.
Okay, well, what about a student mechanic then? We're talking about
Yeah,
cars.
I reckon that's a good one. I think for the
Yeah.
checkup, for the service, I'd probably be okay. But if they were like, oh, we need to do X, Y, Z, I'm like, maybe I need a second
So,
opinion.
Josh,
on
there's
this.
this big difference you have between diagnosing the problem and executing the problem.
I think so.
Executing on the problem.
I think so. Do you guys not have that same
I don't think
feeling?
so. I think diagnosis is incredibly important and as important as the execution.
I think the key thing with the
It's
students
one of the main principles of medicine.
is that the senior dentist qualified comes through and checks the work. If that didn't occur,
yes.
I would be a lot more concerned about the process.
And I think my concern with all of this is that they haven't done the work. When it comes to my body, I feel like I want the experienced person to be
I think
doing
everyone does. You always want the best for your health.
But
right?
they offer the service.
I think to get to the crux of the thing, Josh, Christian and I want to tell you that we want you to change dentists.
No.
Wait, what happened to Dr. Blood?
He retired.
Oh,
And his little hand-drawn images of my receding gum lines.
that
What?
that is
Yeah.
Can we post? Wait, have we ever seen them?
They'd be in my files somewhere.
What
I don't know where
files?
they've ended up.
Oh,
God.
if you could
At his
dig them up,
surgery.
that'd be great. We'll post them on social media. We haven't done one of those in a
the
while.
blood files. That is a callback to one of the very first patches, right?
Yeah.
It's very
For
early.
anyone who's been listening that long, you'll know who Dr. Blood is. I had.
Very.
You've got nothing.
That's
nothing vast that I knew. I was just going to
No,
let you
no,
run with it.
I do. I want to go to.
It was great late night solo radio.
Exactly.
Dr.
Yeah.
Blood there.
And now moving on to the next.
No, so I had when we're thinking of professions, I had an Uber driver. I may have told this story on Patchwork before, but we had an Uber driver late one night fall asleep at the wheel.
Jeez.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, fall asleep at the wheel whilst driving us home. And in that moment was like, oh, okay, this is just a stranger in the
Yes.
car with
Yeah.
me. And in my head, I'm like, this is a professional driver who
Yes.
has a skill set and can take me home safely. Not the case. Fell asleep at the
He
wheel.
has a license and a car. That's it.
Christian, what's a professional to you? What does that word mean?
When I think of professional, I think of someone who is paid to do something.
The bar.
Anyone.
Are you serious?
No, you need to
That
refine
bar's
that.
very low.
A service. I'll say a service.
That's still
then.
really low. Someone gets paid for something. My dentist
Yeah.
got paid. Are they a professional? Not according to you two.
No, they're not. They're students.
That's a really good point. That's a very good point. Are they professionals? Yeah, I guess there is a implied skill level attached to a profession.
Yeah.
Is a Subway sandwich maker a professional?
Yes.
If they're good at it, right? They have to be
doing
good
that.
at it.
Well,
Maybe
so-
that's it. It
No,
has to be a
but
certain
why?
level
They
of competency.
Okay, so there's a
Yeah.
difference between be employed in a Oh, there's the distinction. You are employed in a profession.
What's a profession?
And the profession implies the standard.
Okay.
So
A professor, for example.
a sandwich maker at Subway.
Yes.
That profession, there is a standard which is indicated by the guidelines and the
Right.
You can
Right.
have someone
And
really
the
good at
international
that.
bodies that determine the sandwich artists'
Absolutely,
rankings.
yes.
Yes.
Are you watching the sandwiches?
So
Could
is
have
it?
gone with subbies.
Oh
Way better.
no! God, you've made a lot of mistakes. You're like a student.
What, is this a profession for
Someone will
us?
come in later and just review the podcast for us.
Is this our profession?
This isn't. No. Are you in a profession? Is your job profession?
It's
Professional?
interesting because in my head,
I'm not-
initially you feel a profession should have a qualification behind it. Be some sort of tertiary
Yeah.
education around it, that
Yeah.
then you become qualified and then you're a professional in that thing.
It's not necessarily tertiary. I think it's a standard. It's just a standard. It's a regulated thing.
Because what? Yeah, a profession is probably. Is it that there's a pathway with growth? I don't know. Does there need to be growth in a profession?
I don't know.
Because like if you work in
course,
hospitality,
because there's
that's a profession.
yes, but there are people who are good at their profession.
Yeah.
No, but there's also shit-
profession a lot.
There's also shit. There's also shit dentists.
yeah,
I wouldn't know anything about that, Dion.
And I'm not talking about those because you're a student.
but there's what is it? I'm not going to say it's either an adverb or an adjective because I can't think that clearly. But
Can't think that clearly. Meaning you don't know, and
no,
neither do I.
An adverb is describes the verb. An
Wait, what's a
adjective-
Google
Say
adverb?
the word and I'll try and figure it
Professional. That was done. He's a professional.
out. Yeah. I think that's an adjective.
As in, that was
He did
executed
something
with profession.
professionally.
Oh.
Yeah, professionally.
We shouldn't get any language.
That's
We're not
what
good
I
enough
mean.
at it.
I think if I had time, I'd get there.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you would because we never
think-
learned.
guys, I
we
think
learned
no,
this
we
stuff.
we learned
Guys,
this stuff.
we
Well, I didn't
need-
go to school with you.
We need to ask a professional.
So I was out with my partner after a long night, and we thought, you know what would be nice? Let's go get an ice cream. So we went to Gelato Messina, Patch 7, I think.
Patch 7, where
7?
we ripped into Gelato Messina for being
That's a
bit,
core patchwork memory.
Yeah, for being too loud,
Too loud,
Too dark.
too dark,
Yep.
too
Many people.
Anyway, tell us about this
too
fun
many
night
people.
that you
Yeah,
had.
all those things.
Yeah.
All those things still the case.
Overrated.
Really loud music, and I was like, oh Jesus, I want to get out of here straight away. And went up to the ice cream display. Yep.
Well done, babe.
This not a relevant part of the story. Just forgot where I was at.
No problem.
And ordered a cone, and my partner got a cup, and I ordered.
Oh, I thought you were getting
the-
ice creams.
And I ordered the salted mango and vanilla, or no, salted mango and coconut flavor, and chocolate. They don't have many vegan options, but it's quite nice. So got
A mango's vegan now.
and of those two flavors, to myself, chocolate is the preferred. Receive the cone, chocolate at the bottom, salted mango coconut on the top.
Makes absolute sense to me.
Very disappointed.
Disappointed.
Because
Why?
I wanted to start by licking the chocolate because I had the appetite for ice cream then and there, but I had to work my way through a full scoop
Oh.
of the salted. Still good, but by the time I got to chocolate,
You'd had ice cream.
I'd had ice cream.
So you would have liked to be, what you're saying is you would have liked to be asked, hey, do you want the chocolate
I
at the bottom
didn't
or
even
top?
think that they could do that. Again, with the expectation management.
But it might cost
Yes.
extra.
Yes. I would have
They should
loved.
ask you the same way the spicy marg was 1 to 10. It's like, what order do you want your ice cream?
But when you think about getting a Slurpee, let's say, Slurpee, I'm always going preferred flavor on the bottom,
Yeah.
so that it's the first thing
You
that
start
I
with
slurp.
that. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Would you
yeah,
also,
yeah.
just quickly, at the ice cream shop, would you also like to be asked, hey, you order 2 scoops, that's fine. It'll be the same price. Would you like a small or a medium amount?
But does that impact the cost?
Sorry, medium or large amount? No, it doesn't impact the cost.
That doesn't make sense.
No, because I want 2
yeah.
scoops, but I don't want a lot of ice cream. And sometimes they
want
give you a
two
lot of ice
You
cream.
want 2 flavors.
Yeah, and I don't want to
but
chuck
the
it out.
same amount. Oh, that's an interesting third option they should have.
Would you like that?
No, but you're saying
One
just a bit
scoop?
less.
You said
no, I
you
want
want-
2 scoops, but not too much of either.
No, you
Yes.
get 1 scoop,
No,
but
no,
2
no.
flavors.
Now we clarified this already.
I'll vote for 1 scoop, 2 flavors. That's easier to describe than 2 scoops, but not quite as much.
You know what would
No,
have been
but that's
better
like
if I was clear at the start.
No, but that's like getting a pizza 50-50.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah, that
What
is
do you mean?
Yeah, that's
Why would
your
you-
idea.
Wait, you mean 50-50 meaning half pizza?
Oh, I think.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to
half.
call it that?
This is going to be we're off the rails now.
Yes.
Back to the original
Yes.
point. Would you prefer, Josh? You're ready to go. Would you prefer your favorite flavor at the bottom or the top?
I think initially when I thought about this, I was like, definitely on the bottom. So you finish with the delicious flavor. But when you described it to me, that first top scoop, there's so much there. And it's so enticing and
Yes.
inviting.
Yes.
And I think that's probably what you want the real joy in that. You've got full circumference. You've got everything.
And I think that what they do is they put, an average amount for the first scoop down the bottom and they smash it in. And then they do the second one. They're like, oh, I got to make this look like there's
Make it
a
a
bit
bit
on
sexy.
there. I'll put another little
you
bit
think-
on top.
Do you think there's an art to scooping in?
There is.
But
I worked at a ice cream shop
What was
on
it called?
Rathdown Street, Yumbo's.
You worked there.
Yeah, for 3 shifts.
Oh,
still
shit.
there.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
long
they're
ago was
still
this?
there.
Wait, was this your
Years
first?
ago.
This your first job?
No.
Oh,
No, no.
okay.
It was like a little holiday thing that I did. Yumbo's really, really good place.
Really?
I-
3 months? They didn't think you were good.
No, 3 shifts.
Oh,
And
3
no,
shifts.
No, I wasn't good.
Oh, wow.
It is. So using that artisan paddle, so everything there is very artisanal. They are good quality, really good quality.
He's really being careful about it's family, isn't it?
No, not at all.
Isn't it?
No.
Oh, so why are you being so careful about talking about not
'Cause he's
being
saying it was
negative
still
towards
great.
it?
He sucked.
I really respected the business. I was like, they like got
Interesting.
a good setup
Okay.
and good ice cream. Anyway,
Okay, we'll see what happens.
well, they were like only use the ice cream scoop
Oh.
for small cones for children. Otherwise, we do the artisan paddle, right? So the flat paddle.
Yeah,
On hot days, that's tough.
I bet.
Because I kept smashing the waffle cones.
Of course.
I would try to put the ice cream in, smash the waffle,
it.
and then because it was hot, there was a line of people, and people were watching me just smash through these waffle cones.
Oh, God,
and
that's
I was
so
starting
stressful.
to sweat. And I remember I was serving. There's one distinct memory of me serving this like orange raspberry sorbet, and I dripped a bit of sweat into the top of it.
Remembers the
my
flavour.
God.
Remembers the flavour.
That's
Yeah.
how- and I was like, oh, this isn't for me. So I spoke to the owner afterwards and was like, oh, I'm not that good at this. And she was like, you're doing fine. You know, you'll get there. And I was like, I just don't think I'm very
That's
good at
so
this. at all."
interesting.
Voluntary redundancy. You sacked yourself.
It felt a little, because there was a time where she was like, you know what, let me take over. You just go make like smoothies and stuff. Yeah.
Wow. So it was the amount of pressure was the tough thing for you.
Well, I'm normally good, like as a, I don't know, barista, I was good under pressure. This was just, I couldn't get this. I didn't have any training, which is a big thing.
Oh.
And so I was training on the job and I just couldn't execute that skill.
I didn't want to cut you off. I was talking about literally the pressure that you were applying the ice cream to the cone.
Oh.
Way too much pressure. Huge amounts of pressure.
So you're good-
PSI was off the charts.
So Christian, usually you're good under pressure. That's something that you.
Yeah. I think that comes from tortured childhood.
That's nice.
Sweat bullets.
Dion, favorite flavor on the top or bottom?
I think I want the best flavor at the top, and I want it to be a lovely red gelato. And you know what gelato is? It's plural for gelati.
No,
I learned before.
not doing this.
Yeah, so I want it at the top because I want that first lick. Also, very, very happy to get a cone. I really like a cone. I like being
Yeah.
taken back to my childhood. I think a lot of people are avoiding cones. The main reason is it's seen as being childlike. Would
Is
you
it?
agree with that? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think visibly it looks like a childish
Well,
action.
Yeah.
Well, that idea of holding the cone and licking, you cannot do that with grace. You have to be prepared to look like a fool because you kind of need to be like a civil engineer the whole time that you're licking the ice cream.
So
right?
much attention.
So much attention, capturing drips as they come.
Yeah.
I'm quite good at avoiding getting drips on my hand, but also
This guy's a professional. Yeah. That defines it. We figured it out.
But you want to keep a nice like kind of cylinder the whole way up, right?
Yeah, but then if you're keeping the cylinder, it's a little bit more provocative. So you don't want to turn people on.
Do you-
And that brings me back. Do you remember at school back in our day when people used to come up to you and go, "Do you lick a dick a day?
Yeah, like a dick a day.
Lick a dick a day."
Look at it today.
Yeah.
And it was so funny.
So strange.
Because so many people at school were licking a dick every day.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, you never got it. You never got
no,
it.
it wasn't.
Christian was like, yeah.
It wasn't a thing at my school,
Wasn't it?
I'm younger than you.
What was the thing at your
I'm
school?
a baby.
Crouching behind someone and pushing
Crouching
them over?
tiger, hidden potato.
Hidden potato.
Oh no! Oh no!
What happens nowadays at school? Are they still licking a dick a day or?
They do it on their phones.
Yeah. I wish my kids would lick each other's dicks.
There's an app. You just do it on that.
Are there any other? There is. There is another embarrassing food.
Spaghetti.
Pho.
The slurp.
Pho soup
Yeah.
is no because of the heat.
What?
I always sweat when I eat that soup. Me personally, this is personal.
Wait,
experience
just
now.
fur as well?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no other soup you
Because
sweat from?
okay, I find that inside those Vietnamese casual restaurants, there's a lot of moisture. It's super humid in there, and then the soup comes out and that's hot, and then you add some chili and it gets hotter, and then you're just dripping sweat and your nose is
Your
dripping.
phone particularly salty, is it, Christian?
My
Your
phone?
Your phone particularly
salty.
salty? So that sweat dripping
Oh,
off your
great
yeah.
patch.
Yeah.
But also, if you're putting chili in, Christian, that's your issue.
Yeah, I know. Getting carried away. Is there anything that you're embarrassed to eat?
Embarrassed to eat.
I think anything that gets on your fingers. Anything you have to eat with your hand.
Totally. No.
Yeah.
Like if you're having some ribs or something, right? Like anything that you actually meant to eat with your hands.
It really should be a consideration as well. When you go out and you go and order something and you're wearing a white shirt, just don't order anything that's going to stain it. And my clothing is never a consideration for what I eat.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but sometimes it's really fucking annoying when you wear a white shirt.
White shirt for spaghetti.
One dot of spaghetti, you can like your whole night's ruined.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's been another episode of Welcome to Patchwork. And that's been one of the fastest phrasings of Welcome to Patchwork I've ever said.
You smashed it out.
Listen back, 15 seconds back, hear it, like it, subscribe it.
One thing I forgot when I was telling the dentist story, perhaps the funniest bit of it, when you're talking about having students doing the work and the senior person coming to check it. I got some x-rays done and they looked at them and they did them all. And then the senior person came in and they're looking at it. She goes, "Is this one upside down?"
Oh, that's great.
Oh, no.
That was so good.
Oh, God.
Like, thank
You're
you
so
so
lucky
much.
you didn't say that in the main
I'm like,
episode.
Thank you
I know.
so much.
I'm
It was
imagining
so
him with
funny.
like finger paintings on him as well.
Yeah, I was imagining it's not like this. They just do photos. They don't do
They
extra
don't
black
get it.
and white photos.
Behind the big black cloth.
What else have we got going on? We've got social media, we've got YouTube. Just as a reminder, all of these episodes are video recorded. We've got a multicam setup. It looks really great. I'm looking at myself right now down the barrel. G'day, Christian.
G'day, Dion.
Get onto your YouTube. Get onto your YouTube. Get
Yeah,
onto
that
YouTube.
still works, babe.
That's true.
Trust
Get onto
me.
your YouTube.
Trust me.
Search Welcome to Patchwork. Just watch. Watch one. You're going to love it. I promise.
Especially if you struggle to tell our voices apart, which we've heard in the past.
Yeah.
Particularly Christian and my voice, apparently very similar. Apparently.
That's right, Dion.
Imagine that one episode we just use
Great.
opposite names for everyone
Great.
just to confuse everyone.
Fuck them over.
Possible.
Yeah.
Not the patrons, though.
Nah, not the
yeah.
patrons.
Good segue, Dion. We also have Patreon. Go to patreon.com/welcome to patchwork and you can sign up to be a Patreon for as little as $2 a month.
Also, you know what I'd love people to do? Just go to the website. Go to that website, patreon.com/welcome to patchwork. Just go to it now.
Check it out.
Don't need to buy anything. Of course, you might buy something. A couple
But
bucks.
if $1 an episode is how I like to frame it.
Yeah. Or 3 grovels an episode.
And what's that magic number that we lose year on year?
$1,500. $1,500 we lose every
$1,500
year due to running costs.
That's our personal money invested in this, not to mention the amount we've spent already on setup costs.
Yep.
So just letting you know.
Love
Any help is
everyone who supports the show.
appreciated, yeah.
And if you just listen and tell your friends, that's also a massive support for the show. So thank you to everyone who does that as well.
But money is more important. As we do every week, we sew a new patch into our quilt of friendship. Josh! What patch did you sew into our quilt this week?
Thank you, Dion. My patch this week is Christian as a student ice cream server, shoving the cone a little bit too far down my throat.
It's better than mine.
And Christian, what patch did you sew this week?
Thank you, Josh. This week I sewed into my patch me, decidedly changing tack at the ice cream shop and asking customers out of 10 how crushed they'd like their waffle cone. And Dion, what did you sew into your patch this week?
My patch this week is a student dentist using an artisan paddle to apply fluoride to Josh's smashed teeth.
Got it. We got it. That's the
great.
trifecta.
Rounding
That's
out
the
the
trifecta.
3. Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork for another week. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.